Pro Football Hall of Famer and a man who played in 4 of these big games. He is none other than Jim Kelly. Good to see you, sir.
Always good to see you, Rich.
Right back at you. You said you were wondering about my glasses?
Yeah, these are pretty cool. I'm up to 200s now.
Okay.
But I can see good, like a distance with these on.
What do you think? Look at Jim Kelly and my glasses right there.
There's some ugly-looking glasses. I can see way too good with these on. Rich.
Okay, see, yeah.
Oh my, those are cool.
There you go.
I'm gonna have to check those out later on.
See, I cleaned them for you, just like Jerry Jones had somebody clean his glasses for him right there. All right, man, let's get into it. Tom Brady, where does he stand for you?
The best.
No question, right?
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
Of all time.
Yeah, and the reason I say that, I mean, you look at some of the other guys, and of course, I wasn't around to watch Johnny Unitas, but all the great things said about him and how great he was.
Right.
Joe Montana. Of course, you know, my class with John and, of course, Dan. But, you know, he does it year in and year out, and he does it with different players all the time. They're not all superstars, but he makes them that way. And he rarely has a really good, solid running game. But you never count him out. And I'll put it this way. I would never, ever bet against him, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. But for somebody that, you know, got back to the game as many times as you did, just the fact that you were able to do that just takes, obviously, something. What do you think is within him that gets him that this is his 8th one of these? Jim.
He likes it. He loves it. He lives for it.
You ever any conversations with him?
Oh, yeah, all the time, yeah. We text back and forth. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, I'm going to tell it like it is. There's a lot of people out there that don't like him. That's because he's so good. Buffalo Bill fans. But I have always seen the side of him where he always texts me and said, hey, Jim, do you need anything for your foundation? Hey, Tom, is it okay I send a couple of jerseys to your house or to you? And he's going to send it to my house. And he's been that way forever.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest heart and one of those guys that probably people don't know about, but he is right there for my foundation, whether it's Kelly for Kids or whether it's my son's foundation, Hunter Soap. Whatever I need signed, send it. Don't send it to my office. Send it to my home. And I would, and boom, within a couple of days, he'd send it right back. And again, he sent me this year a pair of his game-worn shoes, and boom, there they were. So, but he's always been there. And the thing about him is, and people, even my buddies, even Bruce and them, they thought, you know, when they were playing Jags, I don't know, I think the Jags might have him. I say, guys, remember, the GOAT's on the other sideline. Don't ever count him out. Boom, what happens? He brings them back. So that seems to never change.
So I'm trying to pick something up here. So Bruce Smith, Thurman, those guys, they're rooting for Jacksonville?
Well,
that's what you're saying?
Well, I can't say I wasn't. You know, Tom put it this way.
Said.
But the thing is, you never bet against him. He is that good, and he's such a good dude, too.
Yeah.
And people asked me this week about, you know, Philadelphia or New England. And I'm good friends with Tom. But family comes first. Frank Reich is the offense coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes, indeed.
Frank was my backup during my days in Buffalo. He's been to the Super Bowl many times, just like I was. He doesn't have one of those rings. I would like to see Frank Reich get a ring because he's deserved it. He's done one heck of a job with Carson Wentz and, of course, Nick Foles.
Jim Kelly here on the Rich Eisen Show, at Jim Kelly 1212 on Twitter. Do you see any of the K-gun and what's going on right now at all?
All the time. I mean, that's week in and week out. Every single week in the NFL, people use that all the time to know how to offense, which we use 24/7. Even in my sleep, I did it. But, yeah, you see that all the time, and I love it. People want to see exciting offense. They don't want to see the run right, run left all the time, even though you have to have a running game. I was blessed to have one of the best in Thurman Thomas. I also had 2 wide receivers, James Lofton and Andre Reed, who are both in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So I was blessed. But people want to see scoring. They want to see good things. But the thing I can tell you about even Tom, people say, how's he doing it 40 years? Well, he doesn't have defensive ends that, like back in our day, that when they hit you, they buried you. They can follow through with that hit. They can knock you down, hit you as hard as they can, but when they're following through and they're putting you on the AstroTurf, not field turf, which is soft, AstroTurf, that wears on your body, not only your head, but your shoulder, your elbows, your knees. Those things hurt, and these guys are getting protected so much, which they should do. Nobody wants to see a backup quarterback. I mean, Nick's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I was about to say,
That's pretty good there, but I'm just talking about overall. People want to see the exciting quarterbacks play week in and week out. They don't want to see all the backups. So what they're doing to protect the quarterbacks and wide receivers is what they should do.
Jim Kelly here on the Rich Eisen Show, yourcancergameplan.com. We'll get to that in a second. What do you think the Bills should do at the quarterback position, Jim?
I don't know, Rich. Tyrod is such a great athlete. He makes things happen that a lot of quarterbacks out there could never do. Consistency probably needs to get a little better at. I like Tyrod. I don't know. A big question mark people always bring up is we have two, I think a 21st and 22nd pick in the first round. Should they give those picks away, trade up, and look for a quarterback coming out in this year's draft? I don't study it that much to really know about the individuals coming out. For me to say it's tough because I see what we have. It's good, but I don't know if it's what we need for the long term. But I can never say anything really, a lot of bad things about a Tyrod. So
what about some Pagula dollars in the Kirk Cousins bank? What do you think about that?
If they decide to go that route, I'd be for it. You know what? Whatever they decide, and they have some pretty good guys now. Brandon being a new general manager, they got Russ Brandon, who does mostly the marketing side. Mm-hmm. But if that's what they decide to do, whatever they decide to do, I'm behind them.
But at least it does look. Anything can happen. Marv Levy is still the last Bills coach to coach 4 consecutive years for that team. McDermott appears to have grasped what it needs to be a Western New York presence, right?
He's got the mentality. He's got that attitude that I think they need.
Right. So let's get to yourcancergameplan.com. You're here on behalf of Merck. What message would you like to impart here, Jim?
Well, to make a long story short, because I'm so passionate about it, I remember when I teamed up with them, and I also, if I even go back a little further than that, when I was diagnosed with cancer, they told me the biopsy came back positive for squamous cell carcinoma. And I go, what is that? And really, it's the cancer of the upper jaw. And my wife and I had nowhere to turn. We didn't know who to talk to. What is this? And when Merck came to me a few years ago, I said, where were you 3-4 years ago when I needed you?
Sure.
Because this is what you need. They get it. They understand. So 2 years ago, we set up Your Cancer Game Plan, and I just challenge everybody right now to go to yourcancergameplan.com, log on to the website, share it with your social media, and there's 19 advocacy groups in there that has to do with the head and neck cancer, different types of cancer, melanoma, different things that you can have. Log on, team up with one of them, and for everyone you share it with, Merck will donate $5, and we look to raise hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for all these cancer groups because too many people have no clue where to go, what to do, who to talk to. We have hopefully a lot of your answers for you, and I get it because I was blessed after I found out what to do that I had a beautiful wife, 2 daughters, and my brothers were there for me from start to finish, and I'm a very blessed man.
So, again, yourcancergameplan.com. Let's take this phone call. He's been such a good friend of our show, right?
Let's do it, Rich.
Matt in Oklahoma. He's sitting there in the middle heartland of the country. He's the biggest fan of yours and the biggest Buffalo Bill fan. You there? You there, Matthew?
Yeah, I'm here, Rich.
You
Thanks
have the
a lot, man. It's awesome. And not every day a guy in Oklahoma just sit on his couch and talk to his quarterback hero, man. It's awesome.
What do you have on your mind, Matthew?
Awesome.
You're on with Jim Kelly.
He's just inspirational. I've had a lot of physical problems over the different surgeries, and Jim, every time I get down, I think, well, Jim and the Bills, man, the Bills never gave up. It's awesome, man. He's always going to be my favorite.
Well, he's right here. Tell him.
I know, Jim. You're my favorite, man. I had 1,000 things to tell you, but I get on here and I'm like, I forget everything. Awesome. I feel like a 12-year-old again.
Well,
it's awesome.
No, it's all good, and that was one thing. Even hearing from this gentleman on the phone, so many people in the last couple of years after I beat cancer, I travel the country. That's all I do now is I speak all over the United States and even in Canada to people and organizations that need somebody to inspire them to keep fighting and never give up. And I've been through a lot in my life, from even going back my senior year in college up for the Heisman Trophy. Those dreams about taking care of mom and dad dad and my 5 brothers, making them proud of me, blowing my shoulder out, told me I would never play football again, to going to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row and not winning, and then having a son born on my birthday, Valentine's Day, and then having him diagnosed with a fatal genetic disease and passing away, and then the Hall of Fame, and all the ups and downs of my life. But I've learned that it's your attitude that you have, to never say die attitude, to never, ever, ever give up. And we all go through tough times in our life, Rich, even you and even a lot of people that I know and I've talked to since I've been here. But the thing is to surround yourself with good quality people. And I live by this motto, make a difference today for someone who's fighting for their tomorrow, because what we can do for other people that may not have a bright future ahead of them, may want to give up, we can at least get them to keep going. And it's about the caregivers, it's about the family, making sure they have that positive attitude.
There you go, Matthew. There you go, bud. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks a lot, Rich, man.
You bet.
Thanks.
You bet. That's Matthew in Oklahoma right there. Again, yourcancergameplan.com. So just to repeat the football part of our conversation, Tom Brady is an awesome dude who's always there for you. But when it comes to the AFC Championship game, go Jaguars. And when it comes to Super Bowl 52, go Frank Reich and the Eagles, huh?
That's right.
Well, you know what? They're in the AFC East.
right?
I can't cheer for them every week. I mean, and I've already talked about retiring, but you know what?
Yeah.
What I love about him, he loves the game.
He sure
He's
does.
having fun. Why give up? Even at the age of 40, I mean, play until you can't play anymore. And he's healthy. Why not?
He
Keep
sure
going.
Can, well, he sure
God
can
bless
play.
him.
He can play at an
He can
extremely
play.
high level. And God bless you, Jim Kelly. Always love having you on this show. Anytime,
appreciate
as you know.
it.
Anytime.
You
I know
got
that
Bruce. Thank
if you ever make yourself available, you always have a home here.
I love you, man.
Right back at you. That's at Jim Kelly 1212 on Twitter.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.